Hey, it's dark. Go on a walk with me. Listening back to the first episode, I realized how terrible the audio quality of AirPods are. So I switched to my actual wireless mic, so this will hopefully sound a little bit better. Welcome back to Interdark. It's a very introspective sort of vibe. Nothing crazy. We're just going to go on a cute little walk to the gas station and yap for a second. If you have some time you want to listen, stay as long as you'd like. We're going to try and do this as often as possible and really just kind of share my inner thoughts with you guys. Today I kind of want to talk about moving on from the past, letting go of the past. Growth as an individual is so heavily influenced by your ability to move on and move forward and continue moving forward no matter what sort of things you go through. Not every single person is meant to be in your life forever. Remember that and let that sink in. Some people, as hard as they are to cut out of your life and as hurtful as it is, they're not meant to be in your life long term. So think about that every time you question if you should let somebody back into your life or if you're trying to get back into somebody else's. The past is the past for a reason. Let's use it, experience it, have a great time experiencing it, but leave it there. We're not meant to be in everybody's lives forever. Not everybody's meant to be in our lives forever. And sadly, some of the people we love the most are actually the worst for us. One of the biggest things that I tell people when they ask me if they should let somebody back in their life, romantically, platonically, whatever the case may be, the first question you need to ask yourself is, why are they no longer in my life in the first place? Why did we split ties? Why did we go separate ways? That's a really big one that you really need to consider. If you're on the fence, think about that. Why did things end the way they did? What happened between you two? And reflect on that. And truly ask yourself, do you think that will happen again? If the answer is yes, prioritize your peace, move on, let it go. Now if the answer is no, and it needs to be a definite no, it can't be a impartial maybe. If you're unsure, 9 times out of 10 the answer is no. Except in this regard, it's actually the opposite. If you're unsure and you're not 100% that somebody will not behave the same way as they did in the past, it does not serve you to maintain that in your life. Especially if you want to be a better individual and you want to find peace and happiness and prosperity within yourself. You got to learn to let things go, sadly, and just move on. Face what's in front of you, look forward, and keep striving for a better you and a better life in front of you. Many moons ago, I was obsessed with this girl, and she was my best friend. And sometimes I still think about how everything would have turned out if things didn't go the way that they did between us. And I wish her the absolute best, but she was my best friend, and we had this weird cat and mouse thing where she told me she wasn't interested, and then she showed the opposite. And I was naive and in love, and I read mixed signals. To her, they might not have been. But reflecting on that, when I think about that individual and the things that were between us, it was a great experience. It hurt me a lot. Genuinely, it hurt me so much, the way that everything happened. But who I am today is grateful for it, because it taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about valuing myself, knowing my worth, not putting myself in a situation like that again, and really just learning to treat myself with respect. But sometimes I reflect on the situation and, I think about it, and would I absolutely love to have that person in my life again? Yeah, 100%, today, tomorrow, but at the end of the day, sometimes what we want is not what's best for us. Prioritizing your peace is everything. And since we've gone our separate ways many years ago, I found a lot of happiness in what I do, and a lot of happiness in peace and solitude. And I wouldn't want anything other than that for her. Self-reflection is kind of funny that way, because in the moment, something could be so very painful. But down the line, you'll look back and you'll think about it, and you'll either remember that pain and remember how you felt that night or that day or that time or whatever, reading that message, talking in person, getting that phone call, email, or you'll take that opportunity, reflect on it, remember how you felt, but remember how you grew and how it really benefited you rather than how it hurt you. Growing up, I've always been a pessimist. And that means always taking the worst case scenario. And that did not do any wonders for my anxiety and overthinking. But let me tell you, when I found out how to move on from the past and really let things go and leave them where they were and focus on what's ahead of me and the things that serve me and make me happy and make life enjoyable, a lot of that has gone away. And obviously, with anxiety, it never goes away completely. But I will say my overthinking and anxious thoughts definitely dialed back a notch. I learned to focus on what's in front of me versus what's behind me. And I think that's so very important when you're developing yourself and you're learning who you are and you're creating who you want to be and you're focusing on being better than you once were. We live, we experience. Never forget the past. But also don't let it hold you down. The future is what we're building ourselves for, but the past is what made us who we are today. So never discount it. Never forget it. Absolutely never forget it. And above all else, remember to love yourself and love others around you. You never know what somebody might be going through. And you never know how you might brighten somebody's day. Toxicity does not serve you. It has no place in your life. It has no place in your heart. It serves no benefit to anybody. So cut those toxic ties. Move on. Move forward. And don't look back. No matter what that situation may be or what that relationship may be. Nobody is entitled to you or your time. You don't owe a soul on the planet a thing. Remember your worth, because it's a lot more than you think. Recognizing that and acknowledging that can be very difficult. But if you take the time to genuinely get to know yourself and understand your worth and your value, I promise life gets so much more enjoyable. I heard an analogy once, and I'm not sure exactly quite how it goes word for word, but it's something like you can take a watch to a pawn shop, and the first pawn shop you take it to might offer you $10. Say, no, this watch is a piece of trash. Then you take it to 25 more pawn shops, might hear the same thing, get better offers, better deals, 10, 20, 30, maybe 100 or 200. But at a completely different pawn shop in another city, you might take that watch to them and they might say, this is a diamond in the rough. This is gold in your hands. This watch is worth $2 million and that's what I'm going to give you for it. If you ever question your worth, never doubt yourself. Have faith in yourself and love yourself. And remember, you can't reach the future by living in the past. So learn to let go, but never forget. And never forget your own worth or your value. That's pretty much where my mind's at tonight. So thanks for coming along. Let's do this again soon. I love you. Stay safe.